guys, welcome back to another video. So I don't know if you guys can see this illustration very clearly, hopefully not. I'm kind of struggling finishing this one and just like liking it in general, so I'm doing like several iterations of it, but instead of like continuously trying to work on it and burning myself out from one piece, let's do something a little bit different. I want to return doing those 1 hour brain dumping drawing sessions that I used to do. So let's go ahead and make a new canvas. I do have an idea who and what I want to draw, so we are going to be heading into my Star Rail folder. I guess we'll do A4. We'll do sideways, I guess. I don't really remember what the format was. And typically, I like working with the 6B pencil. I'm also going to change my color to like about, I don't know, almost black. It's more of like a really, really dark gray. The premise of today. So feel free to join along, but I am going to be putting a 1 hour timer, and I want to just basically barf out, drawing wise, I mean, not like physically, as much stuff that I want onto the canvas. And, you know, we're just going to use it as like a basis. I might do a little bit more than an hour if I want to do any coloring or extra stuff. But for the most part, we're just going to be sketching and brainstorming because I want to do kind of like figuring out a proper outfit for an idol version of Dan Heng PT or like Permancer Terre because of like a post. Maybe I'll post it on the screen so you guys have a little bit more context. Basically, I think it says like he's an undercover idol. And then I think Stell or Kalis is technically like the CEO that scouts him or something like that. I don't know why they did like a random AU for them, but I like the concept of being an undercover idol. So I did a few sketches, which might be Monday's video. I'm not too sure. But because I didn't do this one for the actual sketching session, I can show you guys. But I was trying to plan out like an outfit. And I was kind of like scribbling on the pages that had like bleed through. And then I ended up doing like a few spreads afterwards as well. So I want to figure out his outfit kind of more in a solidified way so that I can reference it and make maybe like a photocard, an illustration, or something else a little bit later. My brain is not like design orientated at all, so I'm going to struggle a little bit. I do have a folder of like a bunch of ensemble stars, idol, J-idol, kind of like princely-ish kind of outfits all in a folder on my Pinterest. Maybe I'll link it in the description if you guys are interested, but I often refer to those, and then sometimes I look at like K-pop idols when I look for trying to generate ideas for Genshin idol kind of AU, but this time we're doing Dan Heng from Honkai Star Rail. So what I'm gonna do to start and kind of set up, I was going to say I haven't drawn today, but I have. So hopefully we're not too rusty. What I'm going to do is set a 1 hour timer on my phone. I'm going to leave it probably around here. Probably going to shuffle it so that you guys can see the timer. This is mostly for my benefit, not yours. I'll be also putting like an actual digital little timer somewhere on the screen as well, so you guys can reference that rather than looking at my phone because it's probably going to be hard to see. But at this point, as soon as I hit start, it's going to be fully unedited so you guys can follow along with the 1 hour session and hopefully just be one continuous session from now till when we finish. And if I end up doing extra, I will, but otherwise, come just lock in with me for 1 hour, do whatever you want to do. Maybe you're sketching along, maybe you're finishing up a drawing, maybe you're doing some, I don't know, putting me in the background. You need a 1 hour timer. I guess I'm just here for that. But let me grab a reference of Dan Heng really quick, which I always have on my phone. But I need one of his outfit a little bit more clearly because I do like incorporating elements of their typical usual design into the idol version of the outfit. It's this one. This one has like the basic outfit for him, which you'll see maybe on Monday if I don't decide to film something else for our sketchbook video. So we'll start the timer soon. An hour is kind of like both a short amount of time and a long amount of time, so don't feel too discouraged if you feel like you didn't do much in the hour. Just try your best to fill up as much as you can during that 1 hour, depending on what you're wanting to do or what you want out of the session. For me, I just want to do planning And I don't want to spend like too long constantly like scrolling and trying to like not finalize on an idea. So we're just going to spend the 1 hour doing this so I can hopefully condense it a little bit. And later on, if I want to like fix it up or do some other stuff with it, then I can do that later. But let's go ahead and get started. So 3, 2, 1, go. Timer's here. Mostly just for my reference so I can time it with the digital version. So my plan right now, I want to do at least a full body. Maybe I'll do like a chibi as well. So that we can at least do a little bit of some sort of outfit for him. And I need like a general, it's on my screen. I need like a general template almost for his outfit so that I can plan out some colors. Because similar to, did I mention that this is going to be like a chatty video? I do apologize if you're trying to lock in and you prefer no one talking or chatting. Just let me know. Let me know in the future if you guys want to have a 1 hour session where it's more like ASMR-esque and I'm not doing talking, because I know some people focus a lot better without someone rambling in the background like I am right now. But also, I might do a sketch page of AU Dan Heng once I solidify the kind of like initial design for him. But I want to do that one as more like a start to finish so that at least I don't think I've done a start to finish where it's purely just a sketchbook, not a sketchbook spread, like a sketch page basically. I've definitely done like ASMR in that format, but I don't think I've done a sketch to finish because I think there is a little bit of like a misconception of how long I actually take to work on those. Sometimes it's 6 hours. Okay. Should have muted my phone. And hopefully we get no interruptions. That's usually the problem with, at least for me, filming a continuous session, is that I can't exactly pause. I do want to treat this as like an actual just 1 hour session. Which is also another reason like I want to keep the timer on the screen. So you guys know I'm not like randomly taking like a break after 30 minutes. Which could be a good thing for you, but for me I just wanna, we're locking in. Yes, depending on when this video comes out, I might also try to plan for a sketch page of Dan Heng. Or I'm going to try to catch up in the Genshin story as much as I can so that we can... Whoa, what is happening to his hips here? So that we can also draw potentially Flynn's and Aluga? I didn't really get to them in the story. I'm very behind in the Genshin story. I think I'm at the very beginning of... I was going to say Natlan, but that's not right. Nodcry. Because I literally got Flynn's and I just left. I did not like actually explore the area or like continue with the story or anything. I just summoned for Flynn's and then didn't return. So I need to catch up on that. I'll make them a little wider. Because I feel like in this form at least, Dan Heng PT is a little bit more... like ever so slightly more beefier than what he was before. A little less delicate. But I tend to draw more of like the prettier boys that are a little bit less beefy. Okay. So we'll quickly drop in his face. I should have mentioned this early too. The whole point of the 1 hour timer, I think I like kind of talked about it very, very briefly, is the fact that I don't want to spend too much time on like the sketches and being so bogged down and not being able to move on. So it's going to help me at least keep on like an okay pace, I would hope. But the whole point is like, I'm not here to race the clock. And I hopefully would hope for the same for you, I guess, is what I wanted to say. Because timing yourself when, I guess like, you don't really need to, or you're not on like a deadline, or you're not doing like Pomodoro kind of method or whatever. Yeah, I need to mute my phone. There we go. Like there's no need to put yourself on a timer all the time, you know? Just keep things casual and a little bit less pressure if you can. Especially if you're drawing for like fun. I do feel like some people, including myself, if you have tasks that are you're kind of not like forced to do, but you're not like actually enjoying it per se. I guess like work is a little bit more separated because you kind of have to do it. But I mean for like other obligations that you might have just imposed on yourself, it might burn you out instead of giving you more motivation to work, if that makes sense, in some strange way. I know sometimes I always mention that I'm low-key motivated by fear. So sometimes I do give myself those deadlines and stuff because it does put, at least for me, good pressure in a sense. Well, maybe not good pressure. Actually, I think most people shouldn't work out of fear. Okay, so outfit-wise, I am really biased towards like the male Japanese kind of like idol look because it gives more of a like a princely kind of outfit. I know there's like different looks out there. I find the K-pop ones, at least more recently, a little bit too street fashion-y. So they don't really read idol per se, at least to me. They look really good and like really cool or like for whatever concept they're doing. But I feel like a lot of them don't even do like actual concepts anymore. There's an aesthetic, but not like a specific concept per se. But then again, I'm like not super into the K-pop scene anymore. I kind of stick to my favorite groups. So maybe there is a bit of a shift in that. I'm just not aware of it. So that could be also the case. Arm's a little short. Thinking, do I want his hand and arm to be up or do I want just to be fully down? Also, we're approaching the 10-minute mark. If you need an update and you're just like solely focusing. Let's have it out like slightly. And like stick legs. Okay, so one thing for sure I know I want is kind of the copy, the white part that kind of drapes across his outfit. I do want this to be some sort of jacket. We also might spend the most time on this one first because this is going to be mostly me trying to figure out the outfit. The other ones are just probably going to be me doing poses and doing something more fun. Something like that. And then we can do the little eye. Dragon thing. We can get this to... to resemble the little... I don't know if I want it this big though. It's supposed to be more like a pendant. I was gonna do maybe it as like a design on his jacket. But I like the idea of making like a chain or something come out from it. So we can still have that, the red tassel. Oh, I guess like song recommendation. One of them's gonna be old and one's gonna be new. One is Dogyum and Seungkwan, or DXS, their subunit. I've been listening to Blue so much. I told this before where I really like ballads. So I was kind of happy that their title track was just a full-on ballad. And then I feel like their solo songs really fit them. So DK with more of like a rock kind of bass, high energy. And then Seungkwan, very beautiful. Another kind of ballad. I always like the kind of like these, what do you call this? Where it's kind of like the opposite of a vest, where it's like this upper portion alongside with the arm is kind of into one piece, and then you can have, I kind of want a belt or something, maybe going across. You could do this. I don't know if this is like conflicting of two aesthetics. Because maybe I won't do the one that crosses, and I'll do one that goes like this instead of the diagonal. Or I could do it where a diamond shape. I want this to cross in the center. Maybe you don't need it to cross. I have the outfit where I have like these little gold buttons that resemble the little gold circle designs that he has. So I kind of want it to be like this. Oh, but song recs. So to kind of get more into that J idol kind of feeling. I feel like the aesthetic that I really like is Nights from Ensemble Stars. So I'm listening to Silent Oath because I feel like Silent Oath kind of gives me that almost K-pop-ish, but like J-pop idol vibe. Otherwise, I would listen to, is it Little Romance? Yeah. That song's really cute. I already spent 15 minutes. I want to finish this at least in half an hour, and then we can spend the rest of the half hour just doodling the rest of Dan Heng. So I want his jacket sleeve. Oof, I'm kind of struggling to think of how I want to do this. Because in a way I'm following what I had initially, but I'm also changing it. Maybe I'll make this white. Or the lapel here, I guess, would be dark. No, it would be light, then this will be dark to light, so this will be white, this will be gold. My problem is, because I don't really have a good sense, I feel like, for fashion or design, I might make this look a little bit too overwhelming. Don't know if I want this to drop more down. Because like I said, I do like more like that princely aesthetic. Oh, I forgot to give him his little mic. I might have this kind of like flipped. Or not flipped. I guess one side is black and one side will be white. And then maybe I'll switch like the cuffs of his sleeves as well. So I want to add little tassels. He does have like a mixture of both gold and silver. Usually I pick one or the other for kind of design elements for have like more of the metal. Because I like leaning the palette even more towards like, oh, maybe it's more, what is it called? Warmer color palette versus like a cooler one. Maybe I will have this like peeking through. I put a design on here. We'll just use the one on his belt, so. I'm always envious of people who have like a good design eye. I remember back in like the uni days for me, I struggled a lot with design. I think it's because it took me a longer time for me to grasp what was going on or like what I needed to do for each like portion of whatever we were working on. Just to make this make more sense to me. There'd be 2 levels of, I guess, black here. I'll probably make this sleeve portion darker, maybe? Because I also want the inside of this to be black as well. If not, maybe I'll do it like gray and maybe this portion will be black. He kind of looks like Renzoto. I feel like I didn't fluff his hair enough. Oh well. Oh, right in his hair. And I think, yeah, we'll keep it as he has 1 fingerless glove. And then I think this one will be a full glove, but I'll make the inside probably, or maybe we'll leave it and just put gold on the outside. Pants, I'm going to keep it simple. I don't have a design bone in my body. I don't know what to do with the pants other than... Should I do it on the opposite side if I have all this cloth here? Maybe. So usually this belt that he has, it's on the other leg. We're doing this instead. Okay, shoes. Probably also keep it fairly simple. I do want to give it a bit of a heel. Instead of putting this in the center, I'm going to offset it to... I feel like it should be on the outsides. So maybe I can't see it. I'll just put like an indication that it's there. And this should be gold. So then we have our black shoes. Do you guys have like a favorite sketching brush when you work digitally? If you know you're only doing sketching. I don't know, is this normal? I know some people always like, you might just sketch with the same brush that you do, like if you know you're gonna complete the piece as normal. I feel like sometimes I keep them separate because I do gravitate towards using something that has like a little bit more tooth and texture if I'm doing something similar to just normal sketching and similar to traditional art, I guess. Let's see what else. So let me browse through my sketchbook. What else did I have? That's mostly it. I guess making this gold. Maybe I'll leave it. Yeah, maybe I'll leave it. We'll just do a brief amount of coloring underneath. Didn't really pick what I wanted to do. Maybe I'll use the old beach brush. So I wanted this to be this color, which I might end up changing. Actually, let me experiment a little bit. There are marker brushes that this person has. I'll link their stuff in the description if you guys are interested. But a marker brush might be a little bit easier for me to control versus like using the old beach brush. I think I want the inside of this to be also this teal color. Because he's gonna have a lot of black for the most part. I don't know if I really decided how I want. Let's see. If I want this to be completely just normally white. Was that a panic? I thought maybe that thing wasn't recording. I think we should be good. Then, or maybe this should be dark either way. So the inside portion right here can also just be a super dark gray or like another version of black. A little bit of a red. So I guess this will also be black, or do we want it to be white? Maybe I do want this entire section to be white. I didn't really think about the back side of how these jackets would work. It just cuts like across this way maybe. Unless it connects with this dark part like back here. Oops. And then pants, I will also want it to be probably the same color as this, so fairly dark. We're more or less like right on time with what I said. I'm gonna spend half an hour on this first one, then we'll do some idle poses, hopefully with this in mind. So I can just focus on drawing him in a nice way without having to fuss about the outfit. I'm gonna make this dark. How do we feel about this? It's like some aspects of his regular outfit. I kind of want to add, if I erase this, like a band of teal on both sides. I'll just briefly give him a little bit of, all this gray makes him not, it's a bit harder for me to give him a little bit of color. Hey, I think this is what we're gonna do for his outfit. Come on, for the most part. I don't think I mind what it looks like. So to make it easier, we'll do this. Do reference. Swing this to the side. We'll zoom in on only the outfit. Then we'll go back to our 6B pencil, back to that dark gray, and we can start something else. I didn't have too many things in mind to how I want to sketch him. Unless I move him all the way to the right. I don't know if this is going to help me. Might do this on a separate layer, just in case I do want to move these. Okay. Now I feel like a clown right now. Well, we're gonna keep it on the left. We'll just sketch this way. It's just more a natural feeling for me for some reason. I just really want to draw his face, so we're gonna do that first. I also forgot to add the little kind of reddish color. Not like it made like that big of a difference. I really need to look up what the heck that context of that post was. Because like I mentioned at the very beginning, I already like, I guess like idle AU kind of concept for both Genshin and like Star Rail, or even like your OCs and stuff, like doesn't really matter. I just like the idle aesthetic, I guess. And like drawing them as if they're performing or something like that. I think it's just like fun energy. Maybe it's because like I really like J-idols and like K-pop. Probably just stems from that. But I have no idea what the context of this AU was, or like why it was posted, because I think it was from the official Genshin, unless I'm tripping. Give him such a baby face. I would also like to design something for like his earpiece. In-ear, I think it's called. Because that's like one thing I really like that some idols do, because they usually have to get like personalized ones because you have to get like the mold of their ear so like it fits comfortably. But sometimes when they get new ones, they change their designs and it kind of like represents them in a way. It's bothering me that I made this eye so squinty compared to the other one. Didn't really even it out. It might be the pupil center part that I don't like. I'll just leave it. I have to stop fussing. Like I said, that's kind of like the point of having the timer. Because I don't want to spend forever on these, technically. I don't want to do this. So regardless if I end up liking these sketches or not, I'm just glad to be sketching. I've been struggling with that Columbina drawing for quite a while. I feel like some of you guys have seen me kind of work on it or like post about it. If you follow me on Instagram, I usually post my sometimes like progress shots of whatever I'm working on Instagram. I should really pull up a reference of Dan Heng. Sometimes I feel like I'm drawing willy-nilly. I don't even know he looks that accurate. He truly is like one of my favorite characters just to draw. But because I like him so much, I do still draw him a lot with reference. No matter how many times I've drawn him. Like, except for right now. Only because, like, I want to do him justice. And sometimes there's, like, small little things that if I forget, it sometimes just doesn't read like it's actually him, so... So even right now, I don't even know if I've drawn his horns correctly. So I do want this to be more like a zipper chain almost. So I do want it to have movement to some degree. These read more like gloves. So I do want to have like the little kind of gold on this glove specifically. I don't know if I'll have it for the other one, but definitely this one. More because he does have like that, almost like a claw hand. Oops. Lapels of like jackets and stuff, I feel like there's so many ways you can draw it. I never really thought if I want this also to have the same dark color, which kind of makes sense if the cuffs of his sleeves are going to be black. So maybe I should. Also, this 1 hour session, you can kind of almost compare it to like, I guess it depends on how you're feeling after it, which I know oftentimes I always feel like I want to continue sketching, because sketching, like I mentioned, is typically my favorite part of like drawing in general. But if you ever have like art block, or you want to draw but you feel like you can't draw or something like that, do 5 minutes. That's all you need. Just do 5 minutes. If you don't like what you drew, that's okay. If you like what you're drawing, or you feel like, oh, you just needed like kind of that boost start, I guess, then continue to draw. Because I get this feeling sometimes when I do these 1 hour sessions that, you know, getting through usually one ugly sketch or drawing first, and then returning back, having a little bit more energy. I want to just continue to sketch throughout the rest of it. But it's not for everybody, right? Or like it's not the right time for you, because maybe you need a longer break, or maybe you're still not in the right headspace. But especially if you're like the type of person who maybe like feels guilty for like not drawing when you feel like you should, just do your 5 minutes, knock it out. Because your sketches or like your drawings don't have to be great, like right off the bat. Because I always mention that, especially if I haven't drawn that day, I feel very rusty, and I always feel bad whenever I do recording and I don't do anything like warm-up sketches or just putting something to paper even. Then usually the first drawing, if I'm doing like a set of drawings, will suffer. And oftentimes, like when I need to get out of that funk for like my first drawing, I usually draw something that's very simple and comes to me easily. And I mentioned like this can backfire technically, because if you dislike it, then you're like, what am I doing? I can't even draw like the thing that I know I can draw the most, and it might feel a little bit more demoralizing. But for me, it's like, if I know I can draw it, then I'll just draw it. If it turns out bad, then it might be just like, you know, you need to get that one bad drawing out of the way so that you can continue drawing stuff that will be better, because your hand has kind of like warmed up. You know, things don't feel foreign, because oftentimes, like, sometimes if you take a break from just drawing, you miss 1 or 2 days of drawing, and you used to draw like every day. Then when you come back to it, you might feel like, why am I rusty? Okay, I need to, oh, I have my pencil sketch. I can just follow that. It's like somewhat correct. make this look more flat looking so that it actually reads more like a some sort of pendant maybe. One Dan Heng, kind of done. I think it looks pretty. Let's do like a larger one so we can use the remaining 13-ish minutes. Ooh, I didn't really plan for this. Maybe a little bit more ambitious for something I can try to fit into 13. But if we go over, we go over. I also forgot this. If you guys are also sketching along, have you done the 1-hour session before with me? Or if it's like your first time doing it, let me know what you're drawing or doing during this time. Because I know some people listen to these longer type of videos on 2 times speed. I don't understand you guys. I feel like it would be too overwhelming. But I guess because it's slower paced, maybe it's more digestible that way. I think it's because I prefer long form media. And I mean long, I mean like 30 plus. Which I know it's not for everybody, or like not everyone has time to consume such longer lengths. I'm always scared every time I tap my phone to be awake. I'm gonna accidentally hit delete or pause or something else that's gonna like disrupt the, the actual time. Also, the editing program that I use, sometimes it's a little finicky, so I always have to like finagle my way with trying to time the timers together. Because one is like the actual duration you can always set. I forgot to give him his piercings. So let's say I put it, I can't remember what this looks like because I drew it wrong, that's why. One's like the duration of the timer, so let me say if I put it for an hour, and then the other one is like, it reads it, why do I keep drawing it incorrectly? So duration of it, so 1 hour. And then the other thing is like actually the duration of the little widget or whatever on the timeline. So there's like 2 1 hours, but sometimes for some reason, it either cuts off one portion or it speeds it up. So I have to make sure that it's like properly aligned, which is why I like having this timer visible on the screen. Because like I said, it's more for me rather than you guys. That's purely for that reason, so that I can make sure I can time it correctly. I know it's weird. I feel like every time I've drawn like idol poses or like anything like idol performing adjacent, I always put like the sweat beads or the sweat droplets. I think it's because sometimes you see like artwork, let's say ensemble stars and stuff, they always put like the sweat droplets. I think it's like for movement, also shows like they're hardworking, you know, performing, doing the most. So I kind of want to kind of emulate that. I also think because they also glisten, it kind of adds a cool effect if you make it get caught by the light. So there's also that. I guess it would be this way. Also, I know that like idol concepts, it's not up everyone's alley. So I'm sorry for the person I'm going to be for the next few videos. I know today's video is gonna be like obviously focused on Idol Dan Heng, and obviously maybe Monday's video will be as well. Because I did tell you guys that I did do a bunch of sketching of trying to figure out how I wanted to do his outfit for this. And I did most of like the initial brainstorming in that video, but it was just like me recording the session. So I'm going to be doing probably a voiceover for that one and just talking through it. I kind of wish I went through like recording it in real time so you guys could hear my thoughts about designing the outfit, but we kind of went through that for this one, so maybe it's okay. Like thinking, should I just like bend his arm so it comes this way? This wouldn't rest like that. We'll figure this out. Raising the arm kind of poses sometimes is a nightmare to draw. It's worse with clothing folds. I might design his mic too. We'll see. So let's just make sure our boy's not bald at this state. I just find him cute. Even if this might be more like out of character. Whoops. So we do have 3 minutes left. I should have given you guys like a 10-minute and a 5-minute. I was gonna say warning, but that sounds threatening. Reminder, I guess. What would his, like, fan base be? If there's, like, a fan club name. Has to be something. Something cute. But I can't wait to actually make, like, a idol photo card for him. I do have, like, a very old one of just normal Dan Heng. But I don't really like the way that I've drawn him in that one. Nor do I like how I drew any of, like, the Star Rail characters that I drew for those ones. Maybe Robin's turned out okay, but I didn't like how I drew March. I didn't like how I drew Japard. What else did I draw? Aventurine, Sunday. And I kind of want to retire the cards. But I have a lot of leftovers. So I'm trying to think how else can I get rid of them while making new ones. I can make like a discount bin. Because I am confirmed for at least one market. And I can sell my stuff at for March. I just have to send my payment and confirmation, and then that'll be the first one for the year. Which is exciting because it's a new one. And it's at like the local university. I don't know about like foot traffic, and I'm nervous about getting there. Because I haven't driven down there and it's usually busier. Oh, we're in the last minute. I'm just gonna try my best to finish this one, even if we do take extra time. Because this isn't a challenge, like I mentioned, so I'm not here to be like, I have to stop after an hour, but just for like the main purpose of the video, I'll show you guys how much I've done just at the 1 hour mark. And I know some people sketch faster, some people sketch slower, so you know, there's not really a need to compare yourself per se to other people's speed for drawing. I really need to commit this to my memory though, this patterning. But that's the 1 hour mark. So if you guys are kind of following along, let me know what you did in the hour. Making sure to stretch. So for me, we ended up doing just, I guess technically 3 sketches. I'm probably gonna finish this one up after post 1 hour, I guess. And I'll show you guys, so it'll be in the video. But we did do at least designing of kind of his outfit, which took the bulk of today's drawing, but then we have one version of him. I'm working on the second version. You can see the discrepancy in his face is not consistent, but I'm actually going to continue, so feel free to do the same. because I want to add more shading to the drawing. I'm just trying to flesh out a little bit more information basically for this, because sketching is like my favorite thing to do. I think next would be like rendering to a certain degree, because it's kind of like in the same wheelhouse for me because of the way how I sketch. Probably because I have more of like a traditional art background initially, I would say. So one thing I didn't really decide for the little, I was going to call them pauldrons, but I don't think these are pauldrons. The things that sit on your shoulders. I don't know if I want to do it more like this, where it almost has like a rope texture, or do I want to go like individual beads surrounding like the inside portion where it looks like this. So that's something I didn't really consider or think about too much. Also, kind of like another thing that why I kind of push, or not push, I consider my sketching and like rendering to be in a similar vein in terms of like my enjoyment from it. It's probably because I like to shade and kind of like flesh out form a little bit more and add value, all that stuff while I'm doing sketching. And because of the way that I render and color, I don't really do too much like actual blending. I do rely mostly on less pen pressure, more pen pressure, like, you know, all that stuff. And gradually building things up to be darker, or if I want it to be softer. So it kind of follows like in the same wheelhouse for me in terms of process. I was also thinking whether or not I wanted to change like the inside portion of this to be like that tealy green color. But the teal, or like the green color, or whatever you want to call it, turquoise maybe, is not like actually that prominent in his outfit, especially for like the upper half, I guess. There's like just more like accents of that color, and then like a larger chunk near his waist. So I kind of want to leave it mostly just the black and the white. So because I sit cross-legged, my whole body feels stiff right now. So make sure after you finish your session, maybe you're already finished and you're just watching me or listening to me try to finish this one up. Please stretch. Get up and stretch. I'm definitely going to be doing that like right after this. I think he looks cute though. I might try to figure out one more design or something. I know he has like a design that's on the white portion of his outfit, so I might actually keep that consistent to his usual look, so that the white doesn't look too plain, other than like adding the little I forget what it's called, or if there actually is a name, but there's like a seam that kind of runs down certain portions of like more formal clothing, and I feel like it usually aligns with like the buttons. So I don't know if there's a name for that, but let's put a title. I'm not gonna put 1 hour on it because we are exceeding 1 hour. It's been like 1 hour and 5 minutes or whatever. We'll just put Dan Heng. Per man. Whoops. Commencer. Terre. Idol. AU. Why did I do it like that? I like how the sketches turned out. I'm kind of glad that I did this one first, because like I said, it kind of allowed me to not make drawings that I ended up hating because I felt rusty. I actually like both of these ones. I think that is it for today's session. Let me know what you guys worked on for the 1 hour, and thank you for joining me if you did. I will probably be showing you guys the pencil sketches for Monday's video, and you guys might see the Columbina drawing. I'm going to show you guys like a brief glimpse of it because I hope you won't miss it. I'm going to be changing it, but I'm struggling with this, mostly because of the water, but maybe I'll go back to it. We'll see, because now that I'm looking at it, I think it's salvageable. But yeah, maybe this will be for next week as well. So for now, I think I'll talk to you guys next time in the next video. But before we do that, I will show you guys the time lapse for this, both here and at the very end, so that you guys can see it more properly. We also don't need my timer anymore, so let me put this back in the center. He really does look like Ren instead. A quick shuffle. So our second drawing, and then working on the third. I did not know what I wanted to do for this pose, so it's just arm up, I guess. I think it's because I was basing it off of one of the pencil drawings that I had. But I think it turned out cute. Yeah, I think that's it for today. I will talk to you guys next time in the next video. Bye! Make sure to stretch. Get up and stretch, please.